Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, you're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio on Leadership Podcast. Money Radio is a program that brings to you the latest developments in Nigeria's business and economy cycles and issues of businesses around the world. My name is Innocent Odo, and today we're taking a look at a staple food called yam. Well, we're not talking about yam festival. What we're talking about is how we can grow more yam, add value to yam, and of course, to meet the target of $8 billion foreign exchange opportunity that the production of yam offers to Nigeria. This is what we're going to talk about. Now, in the past, Nigeria has actually made effort to ensure that we export yam to neighboring countries and also in other parts of Europe. This policy hasn't yielded any positive result, but I'm sure the authorities are also doing their best to ensure that we come back to the drawing board to ensure that we review the policies and find a way to make it better in the coming years. I'm not alone in the studio. We're going to look at the necessity of Nigeria to target that $8 billion opportunity that the export of yam to other parts of the world would offer Nigeria. Now, $8 billion is not a small money. It goes into the what they call the policy of diversification of the Nigerian economy from the oil sector, especially now that the oil prices are not really favoring Nigeria in the international market. So the diversification agenda is set on yam production. And like I said, I'm in the studio with a very great analyst with whom I'm going to do justice with this on this very important topic. I'm here with Kes Hammond. Kes, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks. It's a bit nice being here.
Thank you. So we are talking about why Nigeria must target over $8 billion Forex from yam export. Yes, this is an opportunity, but have we as a country and as a people actually organized ourselves in terms of having a structured measures to be able to harness this opportunity?
Well, first of all, we want to remind ourselves that Nigeria currently, besides being the highest producer or the largest producer of yam in the world, Nigeria produces somewhere between 70 and 76% of the world's yam.
Yes.
That is huge. It's like a monopoly.
Mm.
The countries next and further next to Nigeria, the Ivory Coast, which is somewhere around 9%, and then we have Ghana, which is around 6%.
Yes.
So Nigeria is by far more than every other country. And when it comes to yam production, Nigeria is by far more than every other country. Yeah. So it's like a monopoly. And yam is a very, when it comes to food, and of course, when we talk about food, we're talking about Africa. Let's start with Africa. We're talking about export because yam is, in a way, considering that Nigeria is producing about 76% of the of yam in the world, we can say fairly that yam is indigenous to Africa. Yes. And want to note that Nigeria exports yam, but some of the countries that Nigeria exports yam to are actually exporting to other countries.
To Europe and America. Yes.
Without adding much value, because what value can you add except it comes in the form of paste, which of course we do here also.
Yes.
It comes in the form of powder, which we do here also. There isn't much value that you can add that Nigeria cannot add. So it's just the structure of our export facilities or our export laws.
Yes.
Now, when we talk about the structure, Nigeria's Export Promotion Council,
NEPC,
encourages the export of yam. But there is a law,
Mm.
a 1989 Prohibition Act.
Yeah.
Yes, that act actually includes yam or among the
Yeah. And
list
then
of
cassava.
yam and cassava.
Yes.
Yes, and those are the Nigeria's major exports. I mean,
yes.
major production. Nigeria is also the largest producer of cassava in the world. So the fact that that law is still there, it creates a kind of confusion. And that confusion is actually an impediment. So to
serious
speak.
impediment.
Yes. So the government, those in power, need to do something about it. But aside from that, you can rest assured that Nigeria is really in the right product and in the right position to actually claim
Yes.
that the global market of yam.
Of yam, yes. Now the thing is, we are looking at the global opportunity.
Yes.
Yes, $8 billion is a whopping amount of money.
Yes.
That if we, in fact, like you said, we can actually claim monopoly.
Yes.
Of yam production.
Yes.
And so we can as well harness this opportunity. And most part of this, that a greater chunk of this huge amount of money should accrue to Nigeria by way of foreign exchange. Now, we're not doing that at the moment. And I'm not sure there's any structure or even the data that shows how much that we even get from yam if we're exporting at all. Now, I understand there are some other African countries like Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, but even Benin Republic. They come to Nigeria, they buy yams in large quantities, and then they export. There is something that they are doing right that we are not doing. Is that they have actually established a standard, for preserving yam to export it to the standard that is required outside Nigeria, and then they are making huge sums of money exporting that yam. Yet we here cannot even have a structure that can meet the standard that the rest of the world will desire.
First of all, you see all of this production and then our minimal export coupled with the neighboring countries coming to buy yam from Nigeria and exporting somewhere is valued at somewhere around 5.6, 5.9 billion
in dollars.
In dollars, yes. Those countries have gotten some things right. There's people who actually export yam. Of course. The Nigeria agricultural
yam producers and processors.
Yes, they have this data, and that data shows that there are people that are actually producing. It's just that the data is not accurate.
Yes.
But there are people that are producing yam, that export yam up to. We're talking about tons, 10 tons. Some individuals, 10 tons, 6 tons. People actually are making money out of yam. But there is a problem. You see, there have been efforts in the past by people, and of course, they are still making those efforts to export yam. That's where the foreign currency comes from. But in exporting yam, what the neighboring countries have been able to get right, which we haven't gotten right yet, includes some preserving the yam.
Yes. Have good storage facilities.
Having good storage facilities, and then making sure that it meets the health standards of those foreign countries,
especially European countries.
Yes. Now, in the past, those European countries have complained that yams from Nigeria is mixed with some chemicals, in effort to preserve it, mixed with some chemicals that, of course, they wouldn't allow on their market, which is probably what the neighboring countries have been able to address.
Yes.
And they are making, they are being able to export Nigeria's yam and export it. They're making money out of it. So the point we are making is, first of all, we have all of those government agencies that are supposed to be on top of all of this.
The Standard Organization of Nigeria.
Yes.
Export Promotion Council.
They are supposed to be on top of this. But somehow they haven't been able to coordinate their activities very well and to make sure that they monitor the local producers and exporters. And as a result of that failure, you see that neighboring countries are using Nigeria's opportunity, taking
from
leveraging on Nigeria,
leveraging on it, and then making the billions that we are supposed to be making.
Exactly.
Which is a letdown, really. If you have
it is
a very big letdown
Yes.
from the authorities. You have Standards Organization of Nigeria.
Yes.
What standard are they setting, and how are they executing the standard?
And you notice that by the mere fact that neighboring countries come to Nigeria to buy yam, of course they have to add the cost of transportation, the cost of everything that they are, which means they export to those countries at higher cost than Nigeria would have. Now, another problem with Nigeria exporting these commodities, these food commodities, of course, it doesn't include rice. Rice wouldn't easily go bad.
Yes.
It's not an easily perishable. But yam is
perishable. Yes.
Now, you talk about port congestion. Port congestion is the bureaucracy of getting your goods, agricultural goods processed. Sometimes, of course, exporters have complained that these things take literally months. So you have a
bottleneck.
You have yam, a perishable agricultural product like yam that will stay in maybe a hot place, hot storage facility for up to 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So by the time you are ready to export it, then of course you know that it takes another 2-3 weeks, depending on the destination.
Yes.
Be it Europe, it may take another 2 weeks. If it's China, it may take another 1 month. Okay. So before it gets to those destinations, the thing is spoiled.
Now the thing is worrying everybody, every one of us, that you have opportunities that you don't take all the time, and this doesn't happen only in yam production. Even in beans, we still have that same problem.
Of course,
in our beans.
Of course,
it hasn't met the standard set by the European countries, and that is where we have huge market. China is 1.4 billion.
Yes,
you understand. Well, then look at that market. Look at the huge market. Tell me, if Nigeria is able to leverage on the big market of China by just supplying yams to that country, now you can imagine the huge amount of foreign exchange that Nigeria would make. But the issue of not being able to put things right in terms of systems and structures, and you allow smaller African countries to take advantage of that. And mind you, sir, we have this program called African Continental Free Trade Agreement. It has already come on stream.
Yeah.
Most African countries have already prepared their grounds. They are working out modalities on how to leverage on this opportunity to ensure that their trades and services, their goods and services, are literally will take over. I don't think we are doing anything about African Continental Free Trade Agreement. I stand to be, to be corrected.
The government agencies claim to be doing something, but it hasn't really come to the notice of those stakeholders yet.
Yes.
That such things are actually being done in preparation of a stiff competition that will actually, of course, if you have this kind of situation persisting, you can be sure that it's not only the neighboring countries here, further afield, countries will come and take advantage of Nigeria's yam production, add value to it, and export. Has it not come to your notice that countries like China, as far as China is producing yam pounder?
Yes.
Nigeria,
of course.
You see, these are some of the value additions we're talking about. Because majorly we consume yam by boiling. Of course, sometimes breakfast we consume yam by boiling. Sometimes by roasting, sometimes by frying. Of course, but we usually pound it. Yeah. How come that pounding machine is is coming from China. That it emanates from China and not
And not in the
the
country where we produce more of the staple food.
the chief consumers, the chief producers and consumers. You know, yam is not just a diet product or a nutritional product. It's also a traditional as well as cultural product.
Yes, because they will call it the king of the crops.
Exactly.
Now that is why we do all the festivals. If you go to places like the southeast where they celebrate, in fact they celebrate yam. This is a king of all crops.
Of course.
In Africa, in Nigeria.
When you were about to get married, when I was about to get married, I was told
of course, yam is one part of it.
Of course, it's a ceremony. So if you are getting married, you have to bring yam.
So this is very
yam is cultural and it's traditional. In fact, it's, to some extent, it's spiritual.
Well, we have to come back after this short break. We'll continue with the discussion. I'm here with Kes Hammond, and we're talking about how Nigeria can leverage on the production of yam in order to get foreign exchange valued at $8 billion. We'll be back after the short break.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Yes, so welcome back. If you're just joining us, our Money Radio, we're talking about why Nigeria must target over $8 billion foreign exchange from yam export. Now, this figure of $8 billion was actually, declared by the former Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mr. Audu Ogbe, sometime in 2017. And we simply believe that this amount may have actually increased in the last couple of years. Therefore, Nigeria stands a better chance now to, ramp up its production of yam to be able to meet the standards set by the international market, so that we can use this very staple agricultural product to enhance ourselves, expand our economy, and create jobs for the teeming population of the Nigerian youth who are jobless. And remember that unemployment is 33.3% in Nigeria, and through this agricultural policy, we can actually try to reduce the level of unemployment in Nigeria by engaging the young people in the production of yam. Before we went to that short break, Mr. Kess, you were talking about yam being spiritual. Yes, the spirituality of it all is actually necessitating that people should actually be more spirited in
Exactly.
yes, of course, be more spirited in making more investment, and of course providing more funding for production of yam. Now, yes, it's an opportunity that we have as the largest producer of yam in the world. But the thing is that there are things that we can do to actually maximize this advantage. Probably we're not doing it at the moment. You know, I don't think there's an like we said, structured system. When we say structured system is now is the farming season. The farming season is about to begin. This is usually the season, the time that we go to farms to begin to plant yams. But the problem, however, is that there are some irregular rainfalls at some time, probably because of climate change. Now, what do we do in a situation where we have this kind of condition coming up? How do we sensitize our farmers to be wary of the changes that climate change might bring about, so that they will not fall victims to bad weather, and then some of the crops that they will produce will get rotten in the farm?
You know, when it comes to these issues we are discussing, Nigeria has these agencies in place, and they are actually operating.
Yes.
It will seem like it's just the issue of coordination. Now, you know that link, that nexus. There must be some nexus,
Yes.
Passing information and working in
concert.
Yes, in concert with each other. In that way, you have the maximum output. So, we're talking about weather here. It is true that Nigeria has of course, it's a global thing, climate change.
Yes.
But Nigeria has an agency that actually monitors the weather. NIMET, that is the Nigeria Meteorological Agency. Yes, that agency, NIMET can pass information.
Yes.
You know, we even have a satellite in orbit, Recomsat. Yes, those things monitor, which NIMET works with, of course.
Yes.
They monitor the weather, and with those weather patterns, they can pass information, they can pass advice to necessary agencies or associations of these agricultural stakeholders, and in that way, they minimize the damage.
Yes.
Yes. Nigeria, you know, all these things are actually in place. So it's just to coordinate them. And when we're talking about 8 billion, Nigeria really has something as an advantage. You know what this economist, David Ricardo,
yes,
the one who propounded the economic theory, that is a trade theory of comparative advantage.
Yes.
Nigeria has comparative advantage when it comes to the production of yam. That comparative advantage works in the form of you produce this, you know, with the minimum availability of land.
Yes. With minimal effort.
With minimal effort, you can produce more
of that. Yes.
And of course, by the mere fact that Nigeria is actually enjoys a monopoly in the production of yam, tells you that we have comparative advantage. There are some products which we need, but we don't do well because of the climate, the weather and the climate.
Yes.
We don't do well in producing those, bringing out those products. But when it comes to this issue of production of yam, cassava, and a number of others, we do well. That is our comparative advantage. The thing is, what can we make of this, our comparative advantage? And asking that question, what can we make of our comparative advantage? We need to make investments,
yes,
and we need to have coordination. Yes, so that we don't lose the advantages we are supposed to enjoy. We are actually losing them to neighboring countries, which may be adding, and of course, far-flung countries like China. They produce here,
of course.
You know, that's a way of in a way they have actually brought this product out to add value, but they are enjoying that value because a machine that pounds yam that comes to Nigeria, you will buy it.
Yes.
Of course, you want to make the job of your wife of
Very
pounding
easy.
yam very easy.
Very easy, yes.
So you will buy it. Who gets the profit?
The Chinese.
The Chinese.
Now, in the case, there's another thing. Okay, we mentioned the agencies, for instance. Now, we talk about the investment institutions and also research institutions that will help in making this synergy possible, and of course, adding value to this. Now, you talk about the Nigerian International Institute of Tropical Agriculture.
Yeah.
They are a research institute that does a lot in terms of research in yam production and all that. They have done quite a lot in that area.
Yes.
But how much of that has big impact on the production of yam is what data I do not have access to for now. Maybe they will have to produce data themselves. Because data about yam production in Nigeria is not easily available from sources. Now, there's another thing: we have a bank of agriculture.
Yes.
We also have a bank of industry. They are interconnected.
Yes.
Because agriculture, we're talking about agro-based industries now.
Yes.
Agriculture and industry, they are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So what are these industries doing? Bank of agriculture, bank of industry, and the rest of them. How much investment can we say that these institutions have made in yam production?
Let's look at it from this perspective. You mentioned IIT.
Yes.
Yeah. There is another agency of government, Nigeria Agriculture. It's NASC.
Nigeria Agricultural Insurance Corporation or something.
Yeah, there is the insurance.
NAIC.
NAIC. There is
Yes.
one NASC that has to do with research.
Okay.
These people have actually, from research, they have brought out 5 species of seeds that actually add value. They bring out larger yield, and it's a better yield. They bring out larger yield, and so as a result of that, you have people. Of course, there's more yam production as opposed to the traditional. You must wait for the traditional seed from last year.
Yes.
These ones are available, but then the question is, how much of a link is there when it comes to this the 5 seeds that are available to the person in the village there that is producing yam? The people producing yam could do better with improved seedings, but are they doing better? Are they being reached?
Are they being reached?
Is there any coordination? Is there the communication to say, look, we have better seedlings here, we have you can get better yield from these seedlings? Or is there any agency? I always mention this National Orientation Agency.
Anyway.
I get angry with them because I don't see what they are doing really. But we have this agency
funding all the time. We complain about lack of funds all the time.
You see, these agencies are there. How do you educate the person in the village there that you can sell this yam to somebody in the US? They need your yam. How can you pass the information, or how can you give him the orientation that this your yam produces? Do you know that yam, the peel of a back, the back of a yam is rich? In fact, that entire back is actually vitamin C.
Yes. Yes.
And when it comes to carbohydrates, yam is very rich also. So people out there, how much of an education or orientation are we passing out there that even to the outside world, that this product we produce here actually is rich in so and so nutrients, and you will enjoy it, to make sure that our yam is demanded and we make maximum export of it. So all of these things, our agencies are supposed to work in concert. They are supposed to coordinate and make sure that the maximum benefit comes out of our yam production. When we do that, we can exceed that 8 billion.
We just talked about. All right. If you're still with us, we've been talking about why Nigeria must target over $8 billion Forex from the production of yam. It has become become incumbent on Nigerian government and stakeholders in this sector to come up with policies and programs that will enable this very important product to be maximized in Nigeria by way of production, so that we can compete in the global market. And also, institutions have to set standards for Nigeria so that our product in the international market will be accepted. So yam, like my friend Kes has said, is very spiritual. So we have to make more spirited effort to ensure that we enhance the production of yam. It is also traditional because we celebrate marriages and weddings and all kinds of celebrations in Africa and Nigeria in particular with yam. So it is very traditional to us. We own yam because we call it the king of all crops. And therefore, we must do everything possible to maximize the advantage that this king of crops offers us.
I think it's associated with wealth,
Yes, of course, associated with wealth. I don't anyway. Our time is fleeting. We promise to come back next time to give you a bumper edition of Money Radio, especially on this segment, agribusiness segment. I've been in the program with Kes Hammond. Kes, thank you so much as usual for coming to the program.
It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you. So we promise to bring you a fresh edition of the program. Thank you and remain blessed.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.